Hi, welcome to RevSportz. This is Ishan along with Trisha, Sneha, Shish, and Bharat. As you know, we've been breaking down the women's T20 squads, and today we have Team England. We'll get started with the squad first, and then we'll give you the strengths and weaknesses. So, this is the squad, guys: Heather Knight, Danny White, Sophie Dunkley, Nat Silverbrand, Alice Capsey, Amy Jones, Sophie Eccleston, Charlie Dean, Sarah Glenn, Lauren Bell, Maya Boucher, Lindsay Smith, Priya Kemp, Danny Gibson, and Bess Heath. A strong team here, a mix of youth and experience. I've been covering a lot of the England and India games that are taking place at the Wankhede as well, so I know a bit of the squad. A tough team to beat, but with Trisha, we'll get started off with you. What are the strengths first up in your opinion?
I think yesterday we were talking about this, that Australia is a team that should just have S analysis. England is another team, especially in UAE conditions and the way the squad, the girls have been performing. I know there will be a lot of questions about them being defeated by Ireland, but that was not their first string side. That was newcomers playing, a number of newcomers playing. But otherwise, just look at the lineup that you were saying.
Top class.
You talk about batters, you have batting depth. You talk about spin, you have options. You talk about
as well.
You talk about pacers, you have options. So I think, but if I have to actually pick out 2-3 strengths, then I was trying to figure out what could be different that England brings in. I think first I will go with Heather Knight, because Heather Knight is not the usual T20 batter, she won't come and hit 3 sixes in a row. But at the same time, if you see the improvement in Knight's strike rate in the last 1 year or so, that is clearly telling you that she has that complete, now she is generally in the 4th or 5th gear.
Yes.
But she used to be in the 2nd, 3rd gear, then shift to 4th and 5th. But she generally has a very, very good strike rate, which is extremely advantageous, because right at the middle, if you have someone who can control the innings and yet maintain the run rate, what else do you want?
Yes.
Other name obviously that comes to your mind is Alice Capsey. Brilliant player. I think Marizane Kapp and Mithali Raj both, I remember, had tweeted after watching one of her matches in Commonwealth Games. One back foot drive that both of them had spoken about. So that tells you, two legends of the game, both Kapp and Mithali, talking about Capsey, which shows what her capabilities are. And we have seen that in WPL as well, not only for England. The other name, which I think, of course, there's Sophie Eccleston, there is Sarah Glenn, but one name which I think a lot of people might not really consider as a strength, but I would point out, is Lauren Bell. And why am I saying Lauren Bell is, the UAE conditions are such that you won't get bounce as much as you get in an England or Australia pitch.
Yeah.
It does not come onto your bat, you don't get that bounce. Now, Lauren Bell is tall. So what that does is that gives you a little extra bounce every time she bowls, and batters are not used to it because every other team is not going to extract the same bounce. So that is where she'll cause a lot of problem if she can ensure that she doesn't bowl too short and, keeps it to the stumps. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And I think Trisha, Heather Knight has also been one of the most successful captains for this England side. So I think that's a great strength as well. When you're leading a side into this T20 World Cup, a captain who's been successful will do you wonders.
This World Cup's best captain. I think this World Cup best captain.
Okay.
Heather Knight. I can't think of any other captain who's that good.
Wow. So that will definitely be a plus point. Bharat and Sneha?
Yes, he's a pretty good captain, Heather Knight. But the only problem I think England have is whenever they come against Australia, I know they performed reasonably well in the recent Ashes, but even in that one-off test, they went down. So whenever they come up against Australia, Australia seem to have a little bit of psychological edge, especially in big games. I know Meg Lanning is not there now as Australian captain, but still I feel that way even in the 50-over World Cup final, when these two teams met, it almost seemed like from ball one, Australia had a psychological advantage. That's the only thing I will add. As far as I just wanted to add something more about Lauren Bell. So tall bowler hits the pitch hard. So yeah, on slower pitches of the UAE where the ball is not coming onto the bat, won't likely come onto the bat. It won't be easy to land shots against her back of a length, short of a length, and don't forget that Filer as well. The other seamer, she snaps her wrist nicely, and she gets a little bit of movement off the surface. So they have a pretty decent pace attack with these two. Just think of it, someone like EC Wong doesn't even get into that squad. So that means that pace attack must be quite good. Yeah, as far as Heather Knight is concerned, I just repeat, she's a pretty good captain, but I want to see how England will go when they come, if and when they come up against a team like Australia, because in the past, at least in the recent past, it feels like Australia have a clear psychological advantage when they play against England.
Thanks. So
but but you're straight up talking about the semi-finals and finals, Bharat.
Yeah, if and when I said. If and when I said.
Ishan, you were not there yesterday. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
We are doing a SWOT analysis, and Snehashish sir, yesterday I was like, what do you think about Australia, so and so? He said, no, I think they will make a podium finish. I said, we are doing a SWOT analysis. What? Bharat here is saying Australia and England will be a tough match. They have gone. They've
already reached far ahead. It's not even started, but they've reached the end point already. Some of us can also see the future. Thanks, Snehashish. He's actually predicted some scores which have actually come true. So I'm going to ask Snehashish next. Thank you for that, Bharat. But Snehashish, do you have any stats for us? First of all, any interesting stats? I'm sure you must have done some research.
Yes. For that Heather Knight strike rate that Ishati mentioned, I would like to say that in 2023, her average was 24 and strike rate was around 113. But in 2024, in 12 innings, her average is now 47 and strike rate is now 132. Okay. So in a T20 format, we all know that it is very difficult to be that type of consistent. And in this format, as a skipper also, with the added responsibility, when you bat at a strike rate of 132 and at an average of 47, it speaks a lot. So I think she has improved a lot. And she's coming after leading the side in the 100 tournament, after winning that tournament also as a skipper. So that's an added boost for her also. But obviously, I think and another thing that interesting that in last 2 years, top 4 wicket takers for England, only one pacer is there. You are talking about England, and it's all about spinners. Your top 3 wicket takers are spinners. So considering the UAE conditions that we all know that how the wicket can be, I think from that angle, England spinners will be key for their success.
And Snehashish, I think you have to tell us your top 2 performers of this England side, because your predictions are almost bang on. Trisha, in the live that we've done with India and Bangladesh for 2 days straight, he's given us 2 accurate predictions. So let's just hear it from him. 2 top performers from this England side, in your opinion, for this World Cup.
I think Sophie Eccleston, obviously. I think she will be very crucial. Sophie Eccleston, and I think from batting perspective, Alice Capsey or Heather Knight.
Okay.
But one thing I can easily say, the only team that can prevent Australia from winning this World Cup, that is England.
England, all right. Okay, interesting.
Rest of the team don't go.
Okay,
nice. Okay, so we'll move on to the weaknesses here.
Yeah, before that, I'll just add a little bit about the flexibility. I think one of the other things about their strengths is that flexibility in the batting order. If you look at it, I've seen even against New Zealand, Heather Knight batting at 3. Sometimes she doesn't bat at 3. Alice Capsey bats at 3. Yes. Against New Zealand, once she batted at 6 or something. Sophia Dunkley, in the recent past, has batted slightly down the order and then gone on to open in the last 3-4 years. So they're very, very flexible with their batting lineup. So I think that is another of their key strengths.
Yes.
Sorry, can I add something? This is something interesting. I was just checking. England's group matches, out of the 4 group matches, they have 3 group matches in Sharjah. I don't know how many of you remember, but WPL against Velocity was 47 all out in Sharjah, because Sophie Eccleston was on fire, in a Sharjah wicket. I think Sophie Eccleston's biggest advantage is, and I know it will sound very funny, but she does not turn the ball much. It lands and comes in straight, but you're always expecting in turning tracks that it might turn. And then she varies her pace beautifully. One will just kid on, one will stop and come to you. So it's very difficult. Now, add Sarah Glenn to this. And Australia is coming down from the podium a little now.
I told na, only team that can prevent is England.
Oh,
Yeah, I think the England, straight up I'm saying, for me, that podium, I feel like Australia, England, Sri Lanka, one of the two.
Yeah.
One of the two.
podium finish. All right, okay. Let's move on to the weaknesses. Every strong team obviously has some weaknesses here. Trisha, I'll start off with you again. Do you again feel that maybe it's that incapability of finishing matches? You're in that position to win, but then you don't see your team through. It's happened a bit with this England side as well. Would you take that as a weakness?
If we have to find a weakness, sure. And ultimately, for every player, it is important that they finish the match. This is where I find this, whole T20 culture a little bit of an issue. What I'm trying to say is, once you've come close, when you're closing in the match, you don't have to try to go for glory all the time. You can take your time, take the match deep, and go ahead. So that's one thing. The other thing is, I think I am not very happy with Natsiver's form. If I'm not wrong, Natsiver with the bat, not with the ball. Natsiver with the bat hasn't been the Natsiver that we know. I'm guessing the good news that Natsiver has in her family, Catherine is pregnant, and the baby will bring in all the luck and joy in their lives. So Natsiver, we all know how dangerous Natsiver is.
Absolutely, yeah.
But again, while batting, she hasn't been as stable, as she generally is. And England would hope that changes, because if that part comes right, I think England almost goes unbeatable probably.
Absolutely. So, very few weaknesses actually, Snehashish, but if you had to add something to this, do you have anything in mind?
Actually, it is very hard to find weaknesses in this Australia and England side. Me and Tushadi were searching for 1 hour to find
Ishan,
at least.
We have made a full list. Okay. Then we are trying to search for weaknesses. We are underlying this. We are getting this.
And there's nothing.
And we are getting frustrated. Yeah.
Oh God.
So all this, I think that Nashiver part is a little bit worried, just for her batting. I think I have also searched the stat that in last year her average was 45.50, but this time her average is 27.14. So I think from that average it has come down a little, not a little bit, a bit much, but the strike rate has improved drastically. It's around 150 now. But I think, as Trishati said, that in a world stage like world competition, World Cup, I think she will come up good, and she will be one of the key players for England for sure.
Absolutely. Bharat, any final thoughts that you'd like to add?
Weaknesses, maybe I am thinking of them playing at Sharjah, not thinking about their spin attack. They have a really good spin attack. I'm thinking about their batting. If for example, if they bat first, I repeat, in Sharjah, based on what I saw in Dubai a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, when I was in Dubai, and when I saw matches in Sharjah around that time, September, October, you will get a little bit of dew, definitely. So if England bat first, for example, and they succumb to and against an attack that has some decent spinners, get all out for 130, suddenly the conditions change, then they might come unstuck, because some of their batters, at least, it feels like they will go for the sweep straight away. I have nothing against sweep. It's a shot that is really come into picture in the recent past, even men's cricket or in women's cricket. But on a turning track, they may find some issues on turning Sharjah track if they bat first, and then the dew comes into play later on in the match.
All right. Okay. I think we've discussed both the strengths and weaknesses, and it's been a great discussion. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you, Snehashish, and thank you, Bharat, for joining. To all those watching, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video as well. We'll catch you all again really, really soon. Thank you.